Greetings, Earthlings. Xanthia here, and I got another doodle-doo rambling session for the morning before I start my day in my spa here in Land O'Lakes. Do me massage. I yesterday was working on this particular piece, and then I got pulled away to build a waterfall. Sometimes it happens. So now I'm gonna work on it some more. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So sometimes I wondered, like, what's it gonna be like on the day where I'm running out of things to say. Today I'm kind of tired. I had a really big day yesterday, moving concrete all day, and then I work really long hours today and tomorrow. So I just happen to have like a little bit of a break right now. So I was like, I'm gonna do this. Whenever I get a break, I want to try to like play the cello or do some art and stuff like that. I just got a new tripod that like holds directly above. So good, because last time, let's see, like a few episodes ago when I was doing this, my camera was like it was like slowly falling. So I luckily got that fixed. And so we see how this goes. I found another, a better one. This one wasn't very expensive, so it actually doesn't go very high. I'm sure I could put it up on something, or maybe I could extend this little pole somehow, but it doesn't go very high, so you can't really see like the whole piece, unfortunately. And it kind of goes underneath. You can see, here's the legs here. It goes underneath my artwork, so. But hey, it'll work for this, and I'm going to build another one in my art studio. Be that winter's coming, I'm gonna be doing a lot of mosaics and stuff like that, so I'll be videotaping a lot of that. But I'm also gonna be doing the stained glass windows for the mosaic walls around the resort here. So I'll be working on that, and I'll be able to use these little setups for that, which will be really cool. And I'll put it on my Art in a Minute YouTube channel, which I still haven't added anything, and I've done so much Art in a Minute, but I haven't added it on my channel yet. One thing at a time. I've been doing my modeling channel a lot. Oh, and I want to thank everybody so much for subscribing. That really shows me that you're interested in what I'm doing and randomly what I'm saying, which is cool. And I totally appreciate it, because it makes me motivated, to continue and do this every day. It's a good little exercise. And in the comments, I would love it if you posted, some of your artwork. Can you post pictures in the comments? Speaking of comments, I should continue with some of the comments that people had left on my YouTube channels, but my videos in the past, and answer some questions. So let's see. Where am I at? What do my tattoos on my fingers mean? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. These tattoos are actually, as you can sort of tell, they kind of have the same idea of like what I'm drawing. Oh, my dog's barking. What I'm doing here, but basically, they're kind of like sigils. But they came to me in dreams. How do I say this without sounding crazy to a mixed audience of many people that I don't know? But yeah, so they came to me in dreams. Maybe one day I'll go further into this, or if people are really interested and you actually want to know more, then I don't know, ask me, post comments on here, and I'll go deeper into it. I don't know, and I don't even know how much of it I believe. But when I was a kid, I did a lot of dreaming or astral projection, depending on your viewpoint, and these sigils came from that. It was this place called Latus, and this was their writing. And they were cats that were brought there by Pleiadians many thousands of years ago, about 10,000 years ago, and then genetically engineered. No, actually, it was more than that. It's been a while since I've even thought about this. But anyway, that's where these symbols came from, and it was like this whole dream sequence that I had worked up when I was a kid, and I ended up drawing and writing all kinds of books on it when I was a kid, which was really cool. And maybe one day when I grow up, maybe I'll do something with it. I'll make like a series or something. It was pretty cool. So that's where this writing came from. And I had like maps and all kinds of stuff. But it really came down to is I had a lot of time when I was a kid. So I either was crazy or I was tapping into another reality, or I just happen to have a lot of time on my hands. You decide. I didn't have any friends when I was younger. Probably that I didn't have my first friend till I was around 11 when I got Vicky Stuck, who is still my friend today. But when I was much younger, because my mother and I, we moved so much, I never had any friends, and I just stayed in the house, and we were poor, and I was a dirty kid, and so no one wanted to hang out with me, and so I would like just be alone all the time, and I would write and I would draw, and I came up with this whole Kemsot's, Pirae, and Anthea, and Latus like planetary system kind of thing. And I came up with their writing. I came up with their alphabet, with their different forms of writing, because different cultures in their societies, would write differently. This is one type of writing that they do, where these are not a letter. Oh, look, my finger's still swollen. I don't know what that is. Isn't that weird? My fingernail's dirty. Gross. That's what I get for doing concrete all day. And then there was also, the number systems and things like that. So I would do all of that, and it was really cool. And I did that for a long time, and then I kind of grew out of it, I guess around 16. And I have spiritual journals that I would like, write a lot of that kind of stuff up, and it would be, actually, I probably will do one of those in here, like in this channel, like maybe like because it's kind of like doodles. But I also do my writing and everything like that, which is cool. And I haven't done that in a while. I have a book that I worked on when I was living in Denver. And I've done a few pages since I've been here in like the last 10 years, but it's basically been sitting. So that is something that I would like to work on. So that's where my, finger tattoos come from. Yeah. So, and what do they mean? Okay, well, what do they mean? I do get off tangents, geez. Okay, so they're actually kind of like the planets, including Tiamat, and also like these are the moons, several of the moons in our solar system. And yeah, Nibiru and Tiamat and some of the moons. But also there's symbols like power, truth, things like that. So they're kind of like, they're both kind of like, I guess how, Mars is like the god of war and things like that. So it's similar to that, but it's more words than gods, because the Latutians didn't have gods. But they were more like alchemists. They were more like scientists, I guess. And, but their science went to a whole nother level because they were never stopped by religion. And so it was pretty interesting. And yeah, so that's where I got a lot of that. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, that was Ignacio G that asked that question about my tattoos. Kimmy Pinkhair says, how many YouTube channels do I have? Yeah, so YouTube channels. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, so I'm really glad I'm finally creating the discipline to do it, which is really good, because I've been wanting to do this. I've actually like written my ideas out for years. So how many channels I have? I'm not really sure. I should read these and then come up with the answers before. This is a learning experience, so before I do it. But so I have like my Steampunk Art Emporium YouTube, which is like my steampunk sculptures that I do. I show this lamp, which is kind of hard to show. It's really dusty. But anyway, let's see. I've got a box over here. Like these, Steampunk Art Emporium. It has all of my sculptures, my steampunk sculptures. And then I have Art in a Minute, which is me doing different types of art in a minute. And it's actually like, obviously it's not, I should move my light. I'm gonna move my light. Oh, there we go. That's better. Oh wait, no, now it's under my, put it over on this side. There we go. There we go. Is that better? It's hard to tell. Okay, at least it's not in the screen. Okay, so, yeah, so then I have Art in a Minute, and then I have this one, which is my doodling one, Doodling with Exanthia, that's what this is called. Then I have Exanthia Modeling, which has all my modeling ones, so that's like, 4? And then I have a couple of just regular Xanthia ones, which were like my first ones that I did, that I'm probably going to delete a lot of content and move content to the proper areas, but I haven't got around to yet. And some of it's just like vlogging and, just stuff that, pretty much anybody would just post on their stuff, just kind of getting some content out there of, them and their friends doing silly things or whatever. So I got 2 of those. I'm not counting these, okay? I'm just going to list them. You can count them. And then I've got, I have a book in my kitchen that says all of these. And then I've got, I got my acro yoga poetry. My boyfriend PJ teaches acro yoga at the Movement Sanctuary in St. Petersburg, Florida. And he and I do acro yoga. And I've been wanting to, this page hasn't actually started anything yet, but I've been wanting to do acro yoga with him, which is movement where you kind of like flow your bodies together, and then write poetry that goes along with it. And I haven't done that yet, but I actually do have the YouTube. It's already up, and I'm just waiting to start making videos for that. Then I have Morose Reverie, which is my dark poetry, because I have a lot of dark poetry, because one of the reasons why I stay so busy all the time, and I'm always doing stuff and constantly coming up with things, is because I've been depressed my entire life. And what I do to get out of my funk is I create something. I do some form of art. And I don't know if I've never gotten on any kind of medication, and I have no need for that. And so I just stay busy. And then, so I've just sort of, or I could say that my depression is caused by my lack of being productive in some way. So I have to constantly be productive. And so as long as I'm being productive, then I'm no longer depressed. But one of the things that I would do when I would actually be like really super depressed is I would write poetry, because that would be like the way that I would get it out, and kind of like get things moving. And so I did, Morose Reverie is going to be my YouTube channel of my reading that stuff. Of course, anyone who hears it is going to, you're going to see my dark side, and you're going to, pick up on parts of my personality, but it is a very small part of my personality. It just happens to be that part of my personality. I'm not a secretive person, so I'm not like embarrassed to put it out there. It is my journal. It is very private and personal, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate maybe out of it. I don't really know, and I don't really care, because you know what? It's my stuff, and for the people that appreciate it, cool, and for the people that don't, don't listen to it. I have enough other channels to be appreciative of. So that's going to be my dark one. But then I'm going to have, I don't only have dark poetry. I also have light poetry, and just regular poetry, fun poetry, children's poetry, stuff like that. And that one's just going to be called Xanthia Poetry or Xanthia Poet or something like that. I can't remember. But all these pages are actually already up, as I said, but I just haven't, all these channels are up, but I haven't done a whole lot with it yet. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, cool. I don't have a client coming till 10 a.m. and it's like 9:30. And let's see what else. So then I've got Project 19.5 Apple. So Project 19.5 is, I'm actually want to do a lot of them, and that one I believe has 24 chapters. I don't really want to talk about it a whole lot. It's going to be a whole artistic situation. But I'm just going to leave it as that. It's Project 19.5 Apple. Then I'm going to do B, C, D, E, and it's going to be like this whole thing. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked. It's going to be very artistic. It's going to be kind of random. And I was originally doing it with my friend Mauricio Maudi, drag queen, cross-dressing, transgender friend of mine who recently, sadly, took her own life. I call her because at the end of her life, she was really wanting to transgender, and she was having a lot of difficulty with it. And I knew her since high school, and that death has hit me super hard. And I keep like going back and forth between like being sad and then being mad, because she did it before we really got to take off with doing our YouTube ideas that we had come up with. And yeah, so it bums me out. But anyway, so that I was going to do with her, and she just committed suicide about a month ago, so I haven't moved forward with it, but I do plan to, and I'll probably, do some stuff for her in there. But in that one, yeah, and then I'm doing another one. My friend John Steelman, he used to run this club out here called Rat Soap. It was really cool. It was like a warehouse party kind of place. He's an amazing artist. He's working on the Concrete Dome here at the Land of Id. I'm going to be working on a channel with him, hopefully. It's one I had started quite some time ago, but I had discussed it with him recently as he's sort of like trapped here at my house working on this dome. And he seemed really stoked to do it, so that's really cool. So that is, and I'm drawing a blank. That's my movie. Inner Pieces? No. From Behind Closed Doors? No. Those are my movies. I wrote scripts, sorry. I've done so many things. Sometimes it just gets like, this is what my brain looks like, and I have to try to follow these paths and remember my memories. Gosh, what was that? Yeah, I'll come back to it. Yeah, I just had a big discussion about it yesterday. But anyway, so that's going to be pretty cool, and that's going to be episodic, but it's also going to be random. I think it's going to be a lot of stop motion animation and stuff like that. I have not made a YouTube for my singing yet, but I do plan to do that. My band was always called Jupiter's Thunder, but Jupiter's Thunder is taken. And so I was thinking about maybe just having it be Xanthia, like deleting all of my Xanthia content off of my Xanthia YouTubes now and making that my singing YouTube in the future, and like put all my music videos up there. I already have 2 music videos up there, but it's mixed with a bunch of other stuff. So I think I want to organize that and make just the Xanthia profile my my one for singing. And then I have Nerd Candy. Nerd Candy is one that I'm really excited about. Nerd Candy is going to be my educational one that I'm going to be utilizing to educate on all different types of subjects that I am interested in. So something similar to like tardigrades, which are like an extremophile, and then a lot of paleontology. I study a lot of paleontology, which was actually something that someone had asked previously in a question, is how long I was into paleontology. And so I'll probably just hit on different animals the entire time, and then maybe move to different subjects depending on how it goes. So I'm pretty stoked about that. That's Nerd Candy. There's probably more, but that's a lot right there. That's kind of like a lot to take in. I don't want to like overwhelm you. But yeah, so that's some of them. How many? I don't know. 10? 12 YouTube channels, I'm guessing. I've never counted them. But I'm very organized, I'm structured. I kind of like to put things in order, and so that's why I have so many different ones, because if I put them all together like I have been, then it's just like people that are into one thing wouldn't be into something else, and then they don't want to watch the next video because of that. Oh yeah, then I have my inspiration YouTube, Xanthia Inspires, which is going to be me talking about, I'm actually teaching my assistant who's been working for me, and she's the daughter of a girl that I went to high school with, Alexis. I'm going to be teaching her a lot of different things on like how to expand herself into her abilities, and like figure out what she wants and how to get it and all of that. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to make my Xanthia Inspires YouTube, which is already up, but I don't have any videos on it yet. And then I have my Xanthia Adventures YouTube, which is my traveling. I've already done a bunch of videos with my father. I've been trying to get video editors to help me edit this stuff. Of course, I will pay to have it edited. I have all this content that I haven't been able to, I haven't been able to edit. I've just been too busy. So I'm just waiting to get editors to help me with that. And that's Xanthia's Adventures, and that's me just traveling to different places, be it if it's like paleontology digs, or if it's like a cave or a museum, or just an interesting side stand. Like when I'm driving across the United States, I'm visiting all these places. And actually Alexis and I have been discussing, we're leaving around Halloween, and we're going to be driving to Denver. She's never been there before, and I lived there for a number of years, so we'll be doing videos of that, and each video is about 10 minutes long, and it's all there on Xanthia's Adventures, and I already have several videos up there. So that one's I've already started, and it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. And as I said, there might be more. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, so that's kind of like what I've been really stoked about, pushing that and getting the channels going and focusing more on that than social media itself. And that way it gives me more of an excuse to be productive, because I've discovered that on its own, social media by any means, it's anti-social media. I don't feel connected, and I'm kind of like a little bit agoraphobic, and a little bit, just scared of people in general. So it's like a good way of me kind of connecting with people, and then also like getting to know people, and starting from there, and then moving inward as I get more comfortable with people, or if people come here to the Land of Id. Like John was trying to get me to go to some sort of party, and he's like, "Why don't you come?" Da da da. And I'm like, "Dude, have you ever seen me at a party? Like, I'm not gonna go to a party." And he's like, "Well, it's daytime." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's big groups of people." He's like, "But they're artists." And I'm like, it's just my anxiety rises. I don't know. I kind of wish I wasn't like that, but I've been like that so long that it's like, it's how I am. And this is how I connect with people, unless they come to my house, because I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm just weird about going out. Unless I'm traveling across like the world or the United States, like I'll go out like that, but like, I don't know, going somewhere where there's a big group of people kind of like freaks me out. So that's not something that I look forward to. I'm making a ladder here. This is Jacob's ladder. Yeah, so I feel like my my dialogue has become more explanatory rather than random like it was originally. But this is I'm evolving with this channel, and this is teaching me how to be more comfortable with myself in my dialogue. So I don't stutter, and I kind of just get comfortable in talking in front of or behind the camera, which is good. It's an exercise, and because soon I'm going to be doing all my talking head videos. Oh yeah, I have my obscure films, I think it's called Obscure Films. So it's going to be, Obscure Film Review. So that's a YouTube channel I made where I'm going to be discussing a bunch of films, like my favorite films. So like Itchy the Killer, Cannibal the Musical, Prospero's books by Shakespeare, The Tempest, a bunch of my favorite films, and I'll be discussing all of those on Obscure Film Review. I have so many of my own films, and then as I run out, then people can send me films that I should look at, and if I think they're worthy of my review, I don't know, I hate to be an elitist like that, but then I'll review. But I have so many, even not so obscure, like A Clockwork Orange and stuff like that. Let's see, we got Six String Samurai and Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which was also a book. Well, so was Prospero's books, But also, I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm going to be doing that YouTube channel as well. Obscure Film Review. Yeah. And that channel's already set up. I just haven't made any videos for it. All these talking head videos I'm going to do probably in about 2 months. So I'm going to start them. But this is a good exercise, because I've always been uncomfortable talking in front of like groups of people, and this is, even though I'm alone in my massage room right now, it's kind of like I'm talking in front of groups of people. So this is a good exercise, doing it like this, so I can be more comfortable, and I won't be like, and then I have to edit out a bunch of stuff later. So I don't know. Let's see. So we got Susan with a Z said, "What's my plan with the Land of Id?" Right, the Land of Id. I guess I haven't really discussed it very much of what it is. So my father owned a nudist resort called the Riverboat Nudist Resort. And with the nudist resort, I always wanted to take over, but my father never wanted to leave it to me or anything. It was his retirement fund. So after going to massage school, between that and the success of my art business, I was able to generate enough income to purchase the resort from my father. I've now since kind of stopped purchasing it from him. I did for a few years, and then now he wants to kind of partner up with me, so I've lost a lot of control over things. But my father's learning to be more wild and eccentric in himself, because he is an artist, and he's always wanted to be more crazy, but he's been afraid to. So I've given him permission to be more crazy. So what we're doing is we're changing it to the Land of Id, and we're going to be doing, it's 5 acres, and we're going to be doing mosaic tiles everywhere. And building concrete walls and and like doing mosaic tiles in my stained glass windows, which kind of look like this, that I do with polyurethane. And then we're going to do windmills, and whirligigs. Yeah, we'll be building windmills, like welding them and having are they called windmills? Yeah, I guess they're called windmills. But yeah, and we'll have fish ponds and like little meditation areas, and we're building a dome right now, like I mentioned earlier. So that's what we're kind of doing. So I'm going to make it into like a clothing optional live-in artist community, RV resort, and campground, but it's going to be very art related. So it's going to be very based in all different types of artists. We have 31, we have 31 lots here, so people can live here. And we've got 13 of them with full sewage hookup. And then we have the rest of them, people have to bring their sewage to the multiple dump stations that we have. And we have like showers on each side of the property. And we have a pool, hot tub, sauna. The sauna's broken, I believe. It's been broken forever, but it's something that I will fix. And, then we have the art studio space. So we're hoping to get more artistic people that also can pay rent. Not looking to cater to a bunch of people that cannot like financially contribute to our cause. So that's what we're doing. I'm really stoked. When I was 21, my father and I went to Barcelona, Spain, and we got to check out this artist named Gaudi. Let me check the time again. Yeah. We got to check out this artist named Gaudi, and he really inspired me. He does all these amazing mosaics, and I'm really excited to kind of grow off of that idea. Also, here in Land O'Lakes, Wesley Chapel, there was this artist who died in 1988 named Louis de Vandekar, and his grandson is actually a good friend of mine, and we went to high school together, Bobby Vandekar, and that's where John Steelman actually lives right now, is at the Warlocks. The place is called the Warlocks, and if you look it up, the Warlocks, Wesley Chapel, you'll be able to see some parties that they've had in the last few years, but you might even be able to see some photos of what it looked like in its heyday when Louis was alive. Unfortunately, the property has not been kept up. And they got a little bit of a hoarding kind of situation there, and it's a little bit messy now. But they do everything that they can to keep it up and to clean it up, and they were having parties and all kinds of things there for a number of years. They'd always have like a Halloween party, and they'd have raves and stuff, and it was really cool. I never went to any of the events past a certain time, but I would set up my artwork, and then I'd hide in my RV because I'm weird. I don't know, but and it was he did all these massive concrete sculptures, and his stuff was more dark than I would go here at the resort, but he was a inspiration to me nevertheless. I really appreciated his style, and I never got to meet him, unfortunately. But I have been able to know his grandson, and his grandson's also a really cool artist. He hasn't really pushed his art, which is, I always want everyone to push their art, so I'm just sort of that friend, that annoying friend that's always pushing you to be better. But, so that place, the Warlocks, and then there's these other places that do a lot of mosaic tile, and I've traveled around and I got to see them. That's what I do a lot. I find places like that, and I put it on my Xanthia Adventures YouTube. As I said, there's still a lot more footage that I have to edit. I've got something like 13 videos like sitting in my thing, and it just needs to be edited. And so once those are edited, they'll be put up there. I'd love it if you joined that. Any of these, I think actually all my profiles, like this one, I think I've added almost all the other ones that I can think of off the top of my head. And I got some others that aren't really active, like Inner Flame Studios has a couple of things in it from back in the day, like old stuff. And I'll probably move that somewhere else. I'm just gonna like download a bunch of my videos and like organize them properly into the proper like little categories, so people that would be into something, the whole channel makes sense to them. It's not like, oh, Xanthia is doing this. Oh, now Xanthia is doing this, or and it's just like, wow, it's too much stuff, too much content. I'm gonna explode. So I'm gonna like put things in different areas, so people, if they don't want to hear poetry, they don't have to, and if they don't want to hear me rambling, they don't have to. So that's what I got doing with that. Yeah. So this kind of looks like DNA. So this is the DNA of my artwork. of the moment.